Hey guys, John here. Today I'm going to be giving an update on my FineWoven case. So I posted an update about 2 months ago when I hit the 4-month mark to show you guys the wear and tear on this case. So this is 6 months later. Let's start with the inside of the case. It's pretty much flawless. And then the exterior, there is some noticeable wear on the center of the back of the case and also along the edges. So Apple recommends using a little bit of detergent and water to clean the case. So I'm actually going to do that right now. I'm going to let it dry and then we'll come back and take a look and see how it looks after cleaning the case.
1 hour later.
Alright guys, so I just did a quick wash of the back of the case. So it's still wet on the back right now. I'm going to let it air dry and then we'll take a final look to see how this case has held up over the past 6 months.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Now I've been using the FineWoven case since day 1 to protect my iPhone 15 Pro Max, and this is how it looks after 6 months. I've dropped my phone a ton on the front side and the back side, and there are no flaws at all on the iPhone. So the FineWoven case has done its job. So while we wait for this case to dry, I wanted to examine some of the wear and tear I can see on the bumper of the case. If you look really closely here, there's a little bit of coming off of the bumper material on the edges. So the bottom here, very slight wear of that bumper material. So you can see a corner here where I dropped the case. There is some wear on that corner. But like I've mentioned in my previous videos, cases are supposed to get worn over time if they're doing their job. So we'll continue letting this dry and then take a final look.
3 days later.
Alright guys, so the case is pretty much dry. So you can see how it looks after cleaning it with some dish soap, water, and then just wiping it with a cloth. I think it looks pretty good, but I'm biased, of course. There is still some noticeable wear on the edges right here. I think what happened is, what I normally do every day is I'll lightly spray it with some strong alcohol and then I'll wipe it down just to remove any kind of germs on there. And I think that might be too harsh with this case. So I can see that it got worn down quite a bit along the edges here, but it's probably because of that. If I followed the proper cleaning directions, I think this material would have held up much better. But I think overall, this is pretty good. This is probably going to be the last update I make on the FineWoven case, because as time goes on, I'm sure this will continue to wear more and more. And because we're 6 months into the release of the iPhone 15, by the time we have another review, we're going to get pretty close to the next version of the iPhone and new cases. So I think this gives people a good idea of whether they want to buy this case or not. Right now you can buy these cases used for a lot cheaper than what I bought when it first came out. And I think it's still a great case that you can buy. It's definitely the nicest feeling case that I've ever had. So this case still gets my full recommendation. Now a couple things I want to say about the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I haven't actually done a full review on the iPhone 15 yet. If you want to see that, let me know down in the comments below. But the titanium upgrade on the iPhone 15 Pro Max is definitely worth it. Because the Max phones are so big, you want to have the lightest phone possible, and the titanium material allows for that to happen. I upgrade my iPhone every single year because I truly think it's the best smartphone out there. And once you start getting deeper and deeper into the Apple ecosystem, it's really hard to leave. So I love the fact that it works really well with my iPad, with my MacBook Pro, and even my Apple Vision Pro. So Android hasn't really come out with something good enough for me to switch over to the Android side just yet. However, I'm really jealous of the fact that Android has these really cool devices like the foldables, the flip phones. I hope that Apple will come out with something like that, because that will make it even harder to leave the Apple ecosystem. But right now, I'm really happy with the iPhone 15 Pro Max.